Big happenings as always in Ring of Honor Wrestling. You got Jonathan Gresham entering entering the world title division after having lost the pure title to Josh Woods. You got the division and everything. And then there's the women's division. And the women's division is hot as can be. They're signing new stars. They're creating new stars. And one of those new stars joins me now on the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. We got to meet her a few years ago when she was in Reality of Wrestling. And now, for the last 3.5 weeks, she is the new Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. She is the Prodigy. Roxy. Find her on Twitter at @TheRoxy_. Roxy, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I know it's been 3.5 weeks, but has it fully sunk in that you are the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion?
Honestly, no. But someone actually told me to just not let it sink in. Because I told someone that I was like, it still feels kind of weird. Like it hasn't really sunk in yet, just because it's like, wait, is this really happening? But they were like, no, like don't let it sink in. Like enjoy the moment as much as you can.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, it feels like every day is a new day, and you wake up with that title belt and just you defeated a fellow Reality Wrestling alum in Miranda Elise on September 12th in the finals of the tournament, the Quest for Gold, and Maria Kanellis Bennett was honored to give you that title. Talk about that night when you were going into the finals, and you beat a former Women of Honor champion, Sumi Sakai. You beat Angelina Love, who has held multiple world titles. How confident were you going into that night there at Death Before Dishonor? How confident were you going in there that you could come out on top and be the champion?
I was coming out definitely a little bit more confident than the last matches I had during the tournament. And I think you can kind of see that, like, when I'm wrestling and I get those wins, like with Sumi and Quinn and Angelina, there was a look of, like, shock on my face. And I think going into the finals, it was kind of like this is not like shocking anymore. Like you're here, and you gotta like put your all into this match because you didn't come this far, just come this far, And so I think like when I won, you could kind of see that it was more of like a sense of like, oh, like yes, like I did it.
Right. Let me ask you this, so you started training to be a pro wrestler at 13. I mean,
Yeah.
At age 13, I'm still trying to figure out how to open my locker at middle school, and there you are taking bumps and learning the tricks of the trade. And then you end up with Booker T in Reality of Wrestling. You were originally from Laredo. Did you move to Houston? I mean, how did that transpire?
Yeah, so I had wanted to train at Reality Wrestling since like I was really, really young, since before I even started training. And I always said that I would start training there when I graduated high school. I told my parents, and they were like, okay, yeah, sure, if that's your plan, then go for it. But I ended up getting trained earlier than expected. And then I was so serious about it that like I literally begged my mom if I could take Greyhounds while I was still in high school to go and train in Houston with Booker T. And so my aunt and my uncle, Daisy and Tony, they actually live in Houston. So during like spring breaks or Christmas breaks, I would get on a Greyhound and I would travel to Booker's to train there, and I would just stay with my aunt and uncle.
I mean, that's got to be an interesting, especially when you're in high school. Most kids in high school, when they're spring break or Christmas break, they're looking to get away. It's the ski trips or trips to the beach or do some crazy. And here you are taking the bus from Laredo to Houston to train to be a pro wrestler. Was there ever? I mean, I gotta imagine there may have been a couple times at least where you were kind of like you started to question it, or maybe there was a little bit of doubt. Talk about that for a moment.
I mean, definitely there. I feel like there's always doubt. Like there could always be like oh, but what if it doesn't happen? But I never really liked to think that way. For some reason, like since I said that I wanted to become a professional wrestler, like I always had this feeling that it would work out. Just because, like, I don't know, it was like wrestling is like my passion. Like I've been so in love with it for so long that like the even like the Greyhound bus rides, like they didn't seem like rigorous. I mean, a little bit, but it didn't seem like I hate this. I don't want to do this anymore. It was more of like a like this is so cool. Like I'm literally traveling to Booker T's right now to go train. Like how many
Yeah.
people can say that like they can do that, you know? And so it was more of like a like I always had like gratitude towards it.
Well, and yeah, and that bus ride's not. That's not a short bus ride going from Laredo to Houston.
No.
That's that's several hours. So, what would you do during the? I mean, when you were on the bus, were you watching videos? What were you doing?
Yeah, I had my phone, but I was still a student, and I was a high school student, and I was in the dual enrollment program, so I was taking college classes, since I was a junior. Um, so I literally had like my laptop and all my papers, and I would just work on whatever I had to work on, for school while I was on the Greyhound. Yeah, I just killed time like that.
Okay, and so you start training at ROW. You start training with Booker T. Let me ask you this: who was the inspiration for you to become a wrestler? Was there someone you watched? Did you watch wrestling as a kid, and was there somebody that you saw that made you think, okay, I want to do that?
Yeah, so I was a huge fan of The Rock, growing up, but I think the person that made me want to become a wrestler was AJ Lee. Um, she was like this different type of diva that you hadn't really seen, and she was a tomboy, and she's Latina, and I think like things like that kind of it allowed me to like relate to her and kind of realize like, oh, like she's tiny. Like I can definitely be a wrestler. Because like I think one of the first divas that I saw was like Kelly, and I thought she was amazing, but I couldn't really relate to her because like I didn't have her body type or didn't look like her or whatever. So yeah, when I saw AJ, I was kind of like, oh, like I could definitely do this.
Okay. All right. Talking with Roxy, the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Um, but go back to that. For instance, first time you won the Diamonds Division Championship there in ROW. Uh, when you won that, was that kind of a I don't know validation of what you had been doing up to that point?
Yeah, for sure. And I think winning like the Diamonds Division title will always be like a super special moment in my career because, like I said, like I had been wanting to train there since I could remember. Like I think it was like 11 years old when I came across reality of wrestling, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna train there, and when I turn 18, I'm gonna move over there. And then like things kind of changed, and then I started training at 13, and then I ended up making history at the promotion by
Mhm.
becoming their youngest champion at 18. And so it was kind of like a full circle moment. It was like, wait, like I I've always I always like wanted this to happen, but I didn't expect it to happen like this or like it's just really crazy the way life works. But yeah, like
Yeah.
I'll forever be in debt to reality wrestling because they've essentially seen me like grow up. I walked in there when I was 16, and now I'm about to be 20, and it's very crazy.
Yeah. Well, okay. So So, remind me, what came first, winning the Diamonds Division Championship or graduating from high school?
Winning the Diamond Division
Okay, so that's what I
Championship.
thought. So you win the
Yeah,
title and
I
then you graduate from high school. All right.
yes. I actually graduated as Diamond Division champion.
Did you walk across stage with the belt?
I did not.
Oh, God, that would have been a great opportunity, but
That
I
would
get
have.
you.
That would
I get you. Yeah, you just mentioned, so you are 1 month away from your 20th birthday.
yes.
First of all, do you have any plans?
I don't actually.
We gotta think of something. I mean, go out, get a pizza or and cake or something. I don't know.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna eat a whole lot.
All right. What's the favorite food? If you get that cheat day and you have whatever you want, money's no object. What is it that Roxy has? What's your favorite food?
Ooh. Well, my favorite drink is like ice cream, and I love Boston cream donuts. Those are my favorite. But I'm a huge sweet person.
Okay.
But when it comes to food, I literally have something different like every cheat meal. That's what I love about living in Houston now, is that there's so many options. There's
Yeah.
literally an Instagram page where it's called Houston Foods, and there's this lady that just goes around reviewing restaurants across Houston. So I'll literally just pick and choose a restaurant from there and just go and try it.
Nice. All right. So let me ask you this: during your training with reality wrestling, I'm sure Booker gave you all sorts of advice. What's the best piece of advice you got from Booker T?
Whew. Huh. There's so much.
Is there
Mm,
anything that just sticks out in your mind that's that one thing that just you seem to carry with you?
I think one of the things he's always said is like um I could tell when someone's playing wrestler and when they actually are like very, very serious about wanting to become a wrestler.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that that's like stuck with me because, like, I think people try to like underestimate me because of my age and like, how early I started. But I feel like starting off that early, I don't know, like obviously you can't get offered a contract that when you're like underage. So
Right.
I think like for me, I was just like so in love with wrestling that I was just like putting in all my hard work since 13. Like it wasn't like, oh, now I'm 18, let me put in the work. Like it was like, no, like I'm gonna put in the work because I'm going to prove all these people wrong and kind of prove myself right that regardless of like age, like so much is capable.
Okay. You just had your first title defense was against Killer Kelly in Houston at Noon Texas Pro. You've got another title defense coming up in 10 days against Laney Luck at Warrior Wrestling in Chicago. Uh, this is one of those things where, yeah, you're the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, but you're defending this title not just at Ring of Honor events and not just against ROH signed talent. You're going out there. You're saying, hey, all comers, right?
Yeah, I think that's what makes it so cool. This championship so cool. It's such a like prestigious championship, but I'm able to like take it out there, and especially because like with COVID, we're not able to do a lot of live events. So the fact that I still get to go out there and defend it at all these different promotions, I got to defend it at, I like to call it my home away from home because I started off in New Texas Pro when I was like 16. And they've grown so much, but I've also grown so much. And to be able to like defend the championship there was really, really crazy.
All right. Before I let you go, give me one or two dream opponents. Who do you want to face with that championship?
Ooh, I really want to wrestle Ruby Soho. I think she's amazing. I was a fan of her before she got released.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that would be really cool. Um, who else? There's like so many. There's like a very long list of opponents that I want to wrestle. Um, but
Well, Ruby Soho would be that you and her would be just fantastic, and I got to imagine, hopefully one of these days that will happen soon. So, she
yeah,
it
hopefully.
yeah, she is the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Roxy. Follow her on Twitter at the Roxy _ Catch her not only at the independent events, but hey, Ring of Honor Wrestling here in Austin Saturday nights, 11:05 p.m. Central on CBS Austin. Roxy, congratulations again. It's so cool to see it. I know Booker's proud of you. I know all of Texas is proud of you. Want you to be well. Hope you have a long and successful title reign so you can face all those opponents.
Thank you so much.